Since Black Ops 4 has released, we've looked at some interesting stories revolving around specialist characters. We've looked at Spectre, who isn't in the game. We've looked at Firebreak, who has a really dark backstory. But today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at an Easter egg on Hacienda. And as we know, there's been several Easter eggs on Hacienda that have already been found. There's been dead bodies found in the water. There has been water fountains that dance. But this one's a little bit different, and it requires knowing the backstory of the map. So Hacienda is a lavish vineyard estate situated on a quiet lake in the Spanish countryside. This home belongs to a high-ranking crime syndicate boss. Now, as of right now, we don't know who that syndicate boss is, but maybe we'll have a little bit of a better idea by the end of this video. And maybe that's actually something I can explore in a future video if you guys are interested in that. However, as of right now, just to make things easy for the rest of the video, we are going to make this crime syndicate boss's name Tony. Now what we're going to be looking at today is something a little bit different. It's a bit more of an elaborate Easter egg. So if you go to the one side of Hacienda, there's almost like an office. And in this office, on one of the walls, there's an investigation going on. You can see the old red string pinned to the wall with several different pictures and papers, post-it notes spread throughout the wall, all leading to a blacked out face with a question mark in the middle. The question for today is, who is that character in the middle? And really, there's no easy answer to it. A lot of you asked me this on Twitter, in the comments, in a lot of my videos to do and investigate this, and it really wasn't easy, but I think I do have an answer. It's just going to take a little while to get to, so bear with me. So the interesting thing about this little net that we're going to weave here is that it ties a bunch of different maps from a bunch of different Black Ops games all together and kind of explains their backstory, which is super interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out in the top left with one of the all-time favorite Treyarch maps, Hijacked. So keep in mind as we read these notes and put this all together that the person writing the notes and putting this all together is the crime syndicate boss, aka Tony, and in all of these sticky notes he's talking about his men, his hideouts, his servers, and all in all just his business. So first of all, off to the left side we see the first sticky note that says Gordon is caught and questioned. Now assumably Gordon is the older man up to the top left above the note there. Now after he is caught and questioned, it says information about the secret weapon hunt taken from Gordon and location of my data servers in danger. So the data servers for this crime syndicate boss are endangered because Gordon was caught and questioned and revealed a bunch of information. Now assumably Gordon was taken off of Hijacked because he is linked to these pictures. Now the other person we get to hear about here is Vincent. Now the one thing I will say is I think the pictures of these people are actually game developers that are all tied into this, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But his sticky note says, Vincent warns me of a plot developing in the shadows. Really? I have no idea what that means. And the final note says, my private yacht is attacked by a strange merc group led by a man with an eye patch. Now this note is directly attached to the man in the middle. So assumably, the person in the middle with the question mark on their face is a man with an eye patch. Now it's interesting because back in Black Ops 2 when Hijacked was released, we were never really given any information about the backstory behind the map. But now we know that Hijacked was a super yacht that was owned by the same crime syndicate boss that owns the mansion and winery in Hacienda in Black Ops 4. Now when we follow the string to the next location, it takes us to a map you may recognize from Black Ops 3. Now of course, this map you are looking at here is Hunted. Now as far as the backstory of Hunted goes, Hunted is known as a big game hunting lodge situated beneath a lush waterfall in Ethiopia. Now assumably, once again, this hunting lodge is going to be owned by Tony. So how does Hunted tie into this? So the first note we have to look at here is this one here that says secret meeting ambushed, had to retreat. So clearly they were having a secret meeting at Hunted and then they got attacked and had to retreat. The next note above that, we once again get introduced to a new character, and this note says Ivan somehow manages to help us escape successfully. So clearly this man wearing a hoodie with glasses is Ivan, or at least that's what I would assume. And throughout this story you are going to hear a lot more about Ivan. The next thing that we learn is that the man with the eye patch is not among the attackers at Hunted. And then finally, the last piece of information directly involved with this is a dying enemy tells me we will get our revenge and you will burn in hell. Now, as far as this little piece of evidence goes, we will come back to it at the end of the video and it'll make a lot more sense when we talk about it then. Now, the final two sticky notes involved with Hunted is the first one says data locations, Stronghold, and Estates are compromised. So from this, we know that Tony has data locations of both Stronghold and Estates. And then the final note says someone on the inside working with the enemy. So he thinks that one of his co-workers is working with the enemy, possibly one of these two scallions to the right here. Now, the weird part about this note here, data locations at Stronghold and Estates compromised. First of all, we know Stronghold is a map in Black Ops 3, and we'll get to that, but Estates is weird, because Estates is what Raid is called in Black Ops 4 Blackout. However, when we follow this piece of yarn here, it doesn't take us to Raid or Estates in Blackout. It takes us to the DLC version of Raid that was in Black Ops 3. Now, I don't really know why they are showing this map, because this map is called Empire, not Raid, not Estates, and there are no sticky notes on the board beside these pictures, so it's just a little odd that they're showing this instead of maybe Estates in Blackout or something along those lines. Now, the other piece of string to the left of Hunted is a map that I haven't seen in a while since Black Ops 1, and this one is called Hazard. Now, Hazard is actually a remake map from Call of Duty World at War, which was called Cliffside. Now, going back and looking at Hazard, this map is designed as a golf course, and clearly it appears that Tony once again owns Hazard, or this golf course. On top of that, if we go down and read the sticky note, it says, picked up one of my board members. So I'm guessing that there was once again a raid at Hazard and one of the board members of the crime syndicate boss was taken by whoever raided the golf course. So once again, going back to Hunted and looking at this note, data location, Stronghold, and Estates compromised. The next place where the string takes us is to Stronghold. Once again, this is a map from Black Ops 3, and as it turns out, this location also happens to be one of Tony's data locations. Now, as we find out, Stronghold was actually once again raided by the man with the eye patch. As this note says, man with the eye patch was leading the attack on my Stronghold. Who the fuck is this guy? Also, by the sticky notes, we find out that they tried to extract all our data from Stronghold before the enemy got it. And as it turns out, the person to do that would be, once again, Ivan. So the sticky note says, Ivan manages to secure the data transfer, but lost a third of the servers to the enemy. So the enemy took a third of their servers. So the next map we have when we are following the string here is actually a Black Ops 4 map called Militia. Now, what we know from this map, just based off of the information we are given in Black Ops 4, is that Militia takes place in Alaska, close to the Bering Strait, and is owned by a militia group that kind of works with Russia. Now, as we can tell by the notes here, this note says, my militia group, Patriots on the North, betrayed me. So, as it would seem, Tony is working with this Russian militia group, and as the next note says, it's possible that the militia is now conspiring with his enemy, aka the guy with the eye patch. After this, up above, there is a note that says, my point man there, Cole, found audio log for militants from Vincent. And then this audio log fed them info from a hidden facility up in the Chinese mountains, which if you know anything about the Black Ops 4 maps, the map that they are referring to here is called Frequency, and that's what you are looking at in this image here. So as far as Frequency goes, there are two notes that go along with, the first of which says, Inside Man was leaking info to Vincent via this facility, and then after that it says Vincent was found dead after our raid on the facility. So poor Vincent was just trying to help out the crime syndicate boss, get info from an Inside Man. It seems like the enemies found out, killed Vincent, and that is what we found from Frequency, that this Frequency outpost actually belonged to the enemy. And as it turns out, we actually know who run the facility on the map Frequency. It's the WSB, or the Worldwide Surveillance Bureau, the bureau designed to watch over the specialists. So, are the specialists opposing this crime syndicate boss? At this point, we don't really know, but that's something I could look into further in a future video. So after this is where things all start to tie together. The map you are looking at here is Contraband, and as it turns out, Tony actually owns this area, and this is where he, well, stores his contraband. Now, the first note we can see here says that he has triangulated the location of the missing secret weapon in the Arctic, storing the data in Contraband. So the data that shows the location, he is keeping that in Contraband. Now, if we look at this manifesto here, we can kind of find out what that secret weapon is, and the underlined item here appears to be nuke retrieval, or at least that's what it looks like to me. And then the zone that it is stored in, or aka the region, is AN, aka Antarctica. Now, if we go ahead and look at the last two sticky notes here, they say, the first one, my contraband hideout was found. And after that, the man with the eye patch led the raid and stole the secret weapon location data. Now, as it turns out, once again, if we simply follow the strings, it tells us that the nuclear retrieval device is found in Icebreaker, which once again is a map in Black Ops 4. So the last image we have here is of Icebreaker, the map in Black Ops 4, and as we find out, this is the location of the nuke retrieval device that this crime syndicate boss is going after. So what he does to get it is send Arctic Wolf, which is a submarine, after the device. And as we can see, the first thing we have here is that he sent Ivan to provide security to Arctic Wolf in bringing back the nuclear weapon. Underneath there, we have the Arctic Wolf Icebreaker tanker has been under attack when Ivan got there. And finally, we've got lost contact with Ivan and never got the nuclear weapon delivered. Everything was stolen. Now, based off of this and this alone, to me, it sounds like the inside man all this time has been Ivan. So when we actually go to one of the final images that is Hacienda and check out this sticky note, and it says, still haven't pinpointed the inside man, but honestly, what's the point? I honestly think that the inside man is Ivan, so Crime Syndicate boss, you're welcome for all my hard work. Now, the last image we have here, and the only one in this entire thing that I can't make sense of, is this picture of a horse that says on the sticky note, multiple sources refer to this ringleader as Horse. Now, I'm guessing that Horse is actually an acronym for something, but as of right now, I can't figure out what that is, so if you have any ideas what Horse could be, let me know down in the comments. But the question is, who is the mystery man? We've beat around the bush a lot here, but now we have to address the fact of who is this person. And the real limiting factor is it's got to be a man with an eye patch. So it can't be a woman, it has to be a man, and they have to have an eye patch. So all the way through the Black Ops story, there have been really two main-ish characters with an eye patch. The first of which is Gregory Weaver, who is actually one of the good characters and works for the CIA in Black Ops 1. But we know the Black Ops 1 takes place a long time ago, and for Gregory Weaver to be this character wouldn't make any sense. Now, the second idea, and the one that in my opinion makes by far the most sense, is Raul Menendez. Now, Menendez is the main villain in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and if you played the game, you may be thinking, whoa, at the end of Black Ops 2, you kill Raul Menendez, but the truth is, in only one of the endings, Menendez dies. The other two endings of the game, Menendez lives, and in fact, in one of them, Menendez actually breaks out of prison. Now, the reason why this would make a lot of sense is, first of all, we know Menendez has an eye patch. Now, on top of that, we also know him to be a terrorist and to have worked with many organizations before, so it would make sense that he would want this nuclear retrieval device for his future plans. And also, remember this note that I talked about where the dying enemy tells them that we will get our revenge and you will burn in hell? Well, in this interrogation in Black Ops 2 is where Raul Menendez states that his driving and motivating factor for almost everything he's done in his life is revenge. So the motive kind of also fits with Menendez being the character. Now, the only thing that doesn't make any sense with this story is that the story of Black Ops 4, generally speaking, takes place around the year of 2045, and that year, Menendez would be around 80. For him to do these raids and things like that, That's a pretty old age to do this. Is it possible? Absolutely. But as of right now, this is the only character I can see this making sense. Now, this actually has a much bigger implication than you think, because if Menendez is the character on this chart, and he is the character going around to these various maps, this tells us that the true ending to Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is the one where Menendez breaks out of prison. So this little piece of information on the wall circling around Menendez could very well tell us the answer to a question 6 years in the making, and that is, what is the true ending of Black Ops 2? And it turns out that it's the ending where Menendez breaks out of prison. So, I bet you didn't see this video going back into Black Ops 2, but that's just how it turned out. So, I'm curious what you guys think. Am I digging too far? Am I reaching too far? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I definitely think the mystery man on the wall is Raul Menendez. The question is, how is he doing this at such an old age? Also, is he working with the WSB? And how is a horse related to Raul Menendez? Personally, I don't know, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. And if you like what you see here, I do videos like this all the time, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications turned on to be notified whenever I upload a video. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars.